In this video, I'm going to be exposing the dating copes men use online for why they're still single, from the blatant excuses to the ones that are actually kind of valid. I'm Andrew, I'm a professional dating coach. I've helped guys from all over the world get into their dream relationships and improve in dating. By the end of this video, you will know, are your excuses valid, or is it time to stop being a victim and get yourself out there? I'll even share the one that nearly kept me single for life. So let's dive into this. And first up, here we go. That is anyone that goes out and speaks to a girl on the street, that's creepy and it will get you arrested. Shout out to all the guys in my comment section that love to pop up with this every time I talk about it. This one is incredibly damaging. This one truly sucks for guys. It causes this kind of area of fear around men for the idea of going up and speaking to women. It's peddled by Instagram and TikTok because they know it cuts deep into that fear you have of rejection, of going over there. It is a terrible, terrible cope, but it is one that men even encourage with each other by spreading this bad narrative. So do not believe it. I've approached over 1,000 women in my life, and I've coached guys through doing exactly the same. And not one of us has ever called into an issue with this, a difficulty, some rapport. It's never happened. But there's those one additional case online that just gets blown out of proportion. And if we're honest, he was probably being kind of weird. Think and say this line with me. No guy has ever been arrested for simply saying hi. Like, the system I use with guys, the way they go out and approach means they're able to get dates without any worries. So for that reason, we're slamming this straight into E tier. And if you see guys in the comment section just trying to encourage that narrative, thumbs up, all right? It's just not helping. It's hurtful to men and women. So that's number one. Next one, and this is a classic. It is, well, I'm too short. Girls like guys who are taller. This one is a bit more nuanced because there is something to be said for the fact that taller guys do tend to be a bit more successful in dating. If you're over 6 foot, etc., you'll crush it on dating apps. The problem is, men truly buy into this belief and think it's almost game over if they're shorter. And like, that's just not the case. Like, I grew up being really short. I think I was like 5'2" when I was 16. I ended up getting a bit taller, but I'm still not tall. And all I would say for guys is you need to work on your physical confidence. If you are shorter, the shorter you are, the more you need to work on that. And by that, I mean going to the gym, picking up martial arts, all these sort of things, because it's not really to do with your height. The reason why you don't come across as attractive is because you feel it. You feel insecure about your height. You feel insecure, intimidated by other guys, and it's reflected in your behavior. So you just come across unattractive and girls don't like it. At the end of the day, I've met a ton of girls, even my current girlfriend, who would have happily dated guys that were like 5'7", 5'6". She'd have been fine with it. She's like 5'2". It's not as important as you think it is. What is actually important is the behaviors behind it. So for that reason, I am going to put it into C because it has a factor. Is dating easier if you're 6'2"? Yes. Is it absolute game over if you aren't? No. C tier. Next. For any of you confused at the image, what we're going for here is that all women are gold diggers. And this is an image of BBC TV classic Bob the Builder from British TV with a golden digger. All women are gold diggers. Is this really true? Well, even if it used to be in the past, I don't think it's a problem now. Because think about this with me. If a girl was completely willing to just sell out and just go after guys for their money with her body, well, she used to have to get in a relationship with them and, you know, marry the guy for money, maybe divorce him at some day. The wonders of modern day has allowed her a technology to completely avoid that. Any gold digger is not really looking for a relationship anymore because she can simply use OnlyFans. Like, in that instance, she can essentially pimp herself out, get all the money she wants from a wide array of guys, way more than she can just extract from one guy, and she's sorted. So I think like the era of so-called gold diggers is done. Women have their own money. It's really not that attractive anymore. Like, I know for myself that I've been broke, I've been like broke as shit and dated really attractive girls who are really successful. Like, as long as you have a bit of a plan and they can tell that you are somewhat competent and confident in the world, they don't really mind. For women, like, trajectory is a lot more important than position. So for that reason, I think the gold digger myth is kind of dead. Like, she just isn't interested in dating. If she is a through and through gold digger, she's not going to be dating you. The rest of women are pretty chill. Like, they don't expect the world from you because now most guys live at home at 30. So for that reason, I think we can chuck it into E tier as well. It's just not as big an issue as you think it is. You're not going to run into a gold digger. Like, it's just not going to happen. Next. And that is what I would consider modern dating sucks. It's impossible to meet women. You know what? Once again, it's kind of a point. I would say it's certainly more difficult to date now than it used to be. I think that's part of why I have a job. Like, it has become more difficult for guys to date, that we have far less opportunities to meet women. We all like work from home, we order Uber Eats, we watch Netflix. So just on that regard, I think it's become more difficult to date. I think women's preferences have also changed, that have made it a lot more challenging for men. Men need to be a lot more internally confident and emotionally mature. That wasn't really as high demand back in the day. And men also had a bunch of ways that they could build confidence and be competent guys in the world. And we just don't have that anymore. Like, in the modern day, how many ways are there for a guy to succeed? Like, at least locally, used to be able to be a pillar of his community. He used to be able to volunteer at church, all these things that would allow him to feel good about himself. Maybe he was the best guitar player in your town. Well, the best guitar player in your town is now just bang average and not really a skill. I can just watch Jimi Hendrix on YouTube. So it's harder for guys to be confident. It's harder for them to meet women. Is it impossible though? No. For me, the main thing that has changed has been mirrored in health and exercise. We swapped our old lives for a life of convenience, and that meant that now, if we want to stay healthy, we have to be deliberate. We have to make good choices with our diet. We have to go to the gym. I think the same thing has just happened in dating, that now we have to be deliberate in dating. We have to deliberately put ourselves out there to meet women. We have to deliberately work on ourselves. And that's the stuff that I take guys through when I'm working with them. It's like, yeah, we don't really get handouts anymore. We're going to have to put some deliberate action into this, but you can still get the results you want. So for that reason, I'm going to chuck into a C. Yes, it is harder, but we can still do a lot about it. Next. Oh God, right. The looks maxers out there. Women only want guys who are super attractive. Okay, once again, does being very attractive as a guy help? Yeah, sure. But do you know what helps more? Presenting well. Like, for men, his ability to present, to dress himself well, to be in good shape, to have a hairstyle that suits him, is way more important than just having some funky ass bone genetics. Like, I don't have particularly great genetics. You can see photos of me when I was younger, but all I did was just present a bit better. You know, I just got a nice outfit, I got a haircut, and for me, that was enough. I was able to go out, approach, meet women, and it'd be fine. I don't think we need fucking jaw surgery and shin surgery to be able to transform ourselves and just go through these really extreme measures that are being pushed. You are not too unattractive to get a girl. You might just be presenting pretty badly. Like, ask yourself, when's the last time that you genuinely bought a new outfit for yourself? Like, if it's not in the last year, then you're already failing, okay? It's like, do you have clothes that fit? Are you in good shape? Are you well groomed? All of these are way more important, and these are things that any guy can change. So yeah, whilst I do believe looks plays a part, they traditionally only play a part in venues where proximity is super quick. So for that, I mean, if you're on Tinder, you've got an image, she's going to swipe on it left or right. Does looks matter? Yeah, quite a lot. It's the only thing she can see. Like, she doesn't know how smart you are, how freaking good your pancakes are, whatever. At that point, nah, she can just see you. So in those instances, yeah. But if you learn the skills of being able to be comfortable walking up, talking to women in social clubs, going up in bars, things like this. You don't have to be some Orlando Bloom looking motherfucker. You can be absolutely fine. So for that reason, I rank it even lower than the height thing. Like, there's so much, because the height one, like, you can't do loads about, you just have to balance it out in other areas. This one, you can do so much about your appearance as a guy without falling into the trap of, oh, I need surgery, or just blaming the world that, oh no, it's only attractive people that get dates. Don't believe it. Next. Okay. This is that dating apps are rigged against you. Okay, so your excuse is kind of valid. Yeah, like, especially ones like Tinder. Back in the day when they were introduced, sure, they were just about matchmaking. It was kind of fair. But as soon as they became a company, a conglomerate that needed profits, needed growth, it never again was about finding you a partner. It was about how do we extract money from you and get you to become a premium member. And for that, like, they're not going to give you matches. They're not going to let you leave the app. So yeah, dating apps are kind of rigged. So like, if you're hating your experience on them, I think that's completely valid. And instead, why don't you invest some time in finding other strategies to meet women? As I say, approach social clubs, going through your social circle as well. There's plenty of other ways. Dating apps can work, but they take investment into really good pictures and curation of a good profile. But if you don't do that, then you are just going to get wrecked, especially on ones like Tinder. So for that reason, if someone tells me, yeah, I'm like struggling single, dating apps are rigged against me, I'm like, yeah, a bit. So B tier, absolute B tier for, as excuses go. Next one. Okay. And now I think we're entering the first time where I'm like, this is a fairly valid excuse. And that is, I'm just working on myself first. Whilst this can get taken too far, for sure, the guy that says he's working on himself forever and delays it, he's not wrong. Like, he's just not wrong in a sense that if you don't have a job, you're like really struggling with your health, you can't even open your mouth in front of a girl, then yeah, you probably need to work on yourself first. And that shouldn't be a 5-year bloody thing before you can even speak to a girl. But taking 3 months out to be like, okay, I'm gonna get my habits together, I'm gonna sort my lifestyle out, I'm gonna get a bit healthier. Yeah, do it. Honestly, it will really, really help. If you have a terrible product, it's always difficult to market. So I take you guys through this. There are some basic things that need to be covered. We need to have some level of like interesting lifestyle that we personally enjoy, that we genuinely want to live. Like, if we don't have that, it's really difficult because we're trying to entice girls into a life that we don't even like. So why should she? So, you know what? A tier. If you want to say you're working on yourself, as long as you're not using it to be like, oh, I'm working on myself and it's been fucking 5 years. No. But 3, 6 months working on yourself, that can completely transform everything. Can completely transform everything. So valid, absolutely valid. Right, final one. This is the one that I used quite a lot when I was younger. And that is, well, there's just no good girls in my area. I need to be somewhere else. I grew up in a small town in the UK and I had awful luck in dating there. I really, really struggled. I blamed it a lot for my lack of success. But if I'd have continued to use that as an excuse and not take any action, where would I be? Still in a shitty small town with no one to date, struggling. And that's what I see a lot of guys do. They start to blame where they are for their lack of results, almost like there's no option for them to just go somewhere else. I will add, if you're in a city of anything over 80,000 to 100,000, then it's probably cope as well, because in numbers that big, you can always find somebody. There is no way in a city of freaking 200,000. I've had this with clients that will be in these like big metropolitan cities and they're just like, no, no, all the girls are just too stuck up here. It's like all 1 million of them are too stuck up. No. The law of large numbers is not a thing, all right? If you live in a town of like 10,000 people like I did, maybe it is difficult to struggle in dating and you can use that as cope forever. But if not, like, it's all in your mind. There's no reason why you can't meet a girl in a big metropolitan city. You just aren't going to the right places. And I'm going to slam that into D tier. And if you want to know where the right places are to go to start meeting women so you don't get trapped in these bloody copes like I was when I was younger, and you can start meeting the women you truly want, then check out this video. I did an entire tier list of the exact places you can go to meet women in 2025.